Hello, viewers. I'm Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal. Today stands before you with a very important topic of environmental problem, that is climate change. In this video, we'll discuss what is climate change, what are the causes of climate change, what are the impacts of climate change, and its remedies. Nowadays, climate change is a major problem which the humanity is confronting. And today's video relates with meaning of climate change, how it is different from weather change. Then we'll discuss what are the causes of climate change. Then we'll discuss what are the impacts of climate change and how we'll control it. And I have full confidence that students of mainly degree level and those students who are appearing competitive examinations, if they will watch this video attentively, they will obtain a lot of important facts relating to climate change. Let us start. Today, human environment or the environment of the world is confronting a lot of environmental problems. Today, environment of the earth is confronting with a lot of problems relating to environment. Among these problems, the most vital is climate change. But what is a climate change? Sometimes people are confused that weather and climate are same thing. But weather and climate are not same. Weather means the temperature, humidity, dust particle and water vapor day to day changes is known as weather. So weather change means whenever day to day changes in the temperature, humidity, water vapor and dust particles is known as weather change. And weather change is very rapid. What weather today is, it may not be tomorrow. But climate change means the changes in temperature, water vapor, dust particles, humidity of a region for a longer time. So weather change means changes in temperature, humidity, water vapors and dust particles in a region, not in a particular place, is known as weather change. To make it more clear, the changes in the atmosphere, to make it more clear, the changes in the temperature, humidity, water vapor and dust particles in a particular area day to day basis is known as weather change. But climate change means the changes in the temperature, humidity, dust particles, water vapors in a region for a longer period, it is known as the climate change. The change of climate is very slow, but the change of weather is very rapid. So, no doubt climate change means the changes in the temperature, humidity, water vapor and dust particles in a region for a longer time. It is known as the climate change. And there are many factors of climate change, like if an area is distant from the equator, there will be less hot in that area. And if an area is nearer to the equator, there will be more hot in that area. If a area is situated in a longer altitude than sea level, in that level the temperature is something different than an area which is situated not in a high altitude above the sea level. In addition to that, if an area is nearer to sea, it will be not hotter. But if an area is distant from the sea, it will be hotter. So we are clear what is weather change, what is climate change, and what are the factors which influence the climate change. Now we'll discuss what are the causes of the climate change. The first we'll discuss here 5 causes of climate change. Number 1 is global warming. Number 2, effects of greenhouse gases. Number 3, pollution. Number 4, deforestation. Number 5, increase in ocean acidification. The first cause of climate change is global warming. Day by day, the world is more warming. The temperature of the world is increasing day by day. What temperature the world had previously, now the world has more temperature. So increase in temperature in the earth is a major cause of climate change, because due to increase in temperature of the earth, the daytime will be hotter and the daytime will be longer than the night. So it is a major cause for climate change. And number 2, effects of greenhouse gases. No doubt above the earth there is a natural layer of greenhouse gases. If this natural layer will be above the earth, there will not be any problem. Due to natural layer of the earth, due to natural layer of greenhouse gases over the earth, life is possible. But day by day, poisonous gases of industries, cold storages, vehicles are going to the atmosphere, and they make the layer of the atmosphere, they make the layer of greenhouse gases thicker. So due to the presence of greenhouse gases, the earth is becoming more warmer. And number 3, pollution. Day by day, number of industries are increasing, vehicles are increasing, then poisonous gases are going to atmosphere by the burning of fossil fuels and the burning of diesel and petrol. So now earth is become more polluted than before. The pollution of the earth is another cause of climate change. Due to pollution of the earth is becoming more warmer, its temperature is increasing. It is another cause of climate change. And number 4, deforestation. Due to rapid process of industrialization, due to rapid process of urbanization, forests are no more found. Trees are cut, and forests are no more found today than previously, because it is the nature of tree to maintain a balance in the atmosphere. As deforestation is increasing day by day by the effect of industrialization and urbanization, the quantity of trees are no more found today. So as trees are not found today, the balance of the environment is not maintained. So deforestation is another cause of climate change. Finally, increase in ocean acidification. You know it very well that 3/4 of the earth is ocean. And the water of the ocean has a nature that it will absorb carbon dioxide gases. But nowadays, the water of the ocean has absorbed so much CO2 gas that now it is unable to absorb more. So due to this reason, carbon dioxide gases are not being absorbed by the ocean. So there is increase in the quantity of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It is another cause of the climate change. So we have discussed what is climate change, how it is different from weather change, and what are the main causes of climate change. Now we'll discuss another important thing, what are the impacts of climate change. There are some negative impacts of climate change. The first impact of climate change is extinct of precious animals and plants. As climate is changing, so some precious plants and animals are unable to face those climate change. So they are now in danger and there is a possibility of their extinction. So now there are some animals which are facing the problem of extinction. These animals are polar bear, Adelie penguin, orange spotted filefish and North Atlantic cod. So due to climate change, some plants and animals are unable to face those changes. So they are now subject to, so there is a probability of their extinction. So if some animals and plants will extinct, then the balance of the environment will be in problem. Okay viewers. Number 2, hampers agricultural production. As there is climate changes, rain is not in a regular interval. In abnormal time there is rain. In abnormal time there will be hot in the atmosphere. By this, the photosynthesis activity or the process of food production by plants is being affected. So plants face a very dangerous problem of climate change. So plants do not have better growth. So agricultural production is hampered. Number 3, disruption disrupts natural ecosystem. The world has a natural ecosystem. As climate is changing in abnormal way, the natural ecosystem is disrupted. So when natural ecosystem will be disrupted, it will be a problem for the living beings of the world. And number 4, untimely rainfall. Due to climate change, there is rain when it is not expected, and when it is expected for rain, it is not rain. So there is not timely rainfall due to climate change. It strikes the natural ecosystem of the earth. And finally, untimely hot climate. Due to climate change, there will be more hot when it is not expected, and when it is expected for hot, at the time there will be no hot. So there will be untimely hot in the climate. It also strikes the natural ecosystem. So these are the impacts of climate change. Now you see, now we are clear what are the causes of climate change, what are the impacts of climate change. Now we'll discuss what remedies will take up to control climate change. Here also we'll take up 5 remedies. be attentive. Number one, control of emission of CO2 gases. If CO2 gases, its emission will be controlled, then the climate will be protected and there will be no climate change. Because if there will be increase in CO2 gases abnormally, then earth will become warmer and it leads to climate change. So if the emission of CO2 gases will be controlled, then climate change can be controlled. Okay, viewers? Number two, heavy plantation of trees. Trees have a nature to maintain balance in the environment. It is the nature of tree to absorb CO2 gases. So if there will be more plantation of trees, then climate change can be controlled to a large extent, not considerable extent, to a large extent. Number three, coordination among nations. If all the nations will coordinate to one another, if there will be coordination of all nations for the steps to control climate change, then all the nations will take steps to control emission of CO2 gases and climate change can be controlled to a large extent. Number four, public awareness. If people will be made aware about the bad impacts of climate changes, definitely people will take some steps by themselves. So climate change can be controlled. If people will be aware, if people will be conscious about the bad impact of climate changes, definitely they will also some steps in their level to control climate change. So climate change can be controlled by public awareness. Finally, in place of burning of fossil fuels, if energy will be collected from tidal source, wind source and solar source, then climate change can be controlled. So in place of burning of fossil fuels, in place of taking energy from the burning of diesels and petrol, if energy will be collected from the tidal source, energy source, from the tidal source, wind source and the tidal source, wind source and the solar source, then carbon dioxide gases can be controlled and climate change can be controlled. So nowadays climate change is a major problem for the world, but it is not so much vital that it cannot be controlled if there will be efforts by human beings, by nations, by international organizations. Climate change can be controlled. Thank you, viewers. I have full confidence that this video relating to climate change will be very much beneficial to you. I request you to subscribe my channel and to collect important tips relating to climate change from this video. Thank you, viewers. Again, I will be here with another video. Till now, goodbye to all.